Howdy neighbors, I'm Mac McCarty, introducing today this new channel called the Rough and Tumbled. It's about the oil field. I worked over 3.5 decades out there in the oil patch, and you know that oil field is just a very colorful, interesting place. It's a dangerous place. And I don't think sometimes we consider just how much we've been blessed with all these modern conveniences and the things that we just really take for granted every day. I do too, even though I was working out there for years and years. Up on those power poles, I did electrical work in the oil field. And I tell you, the oil field is full of colorful people, interesting things out there, jobs. Now, some of you might say, you know, I didn't work in the oil field, so maybe I'm not interested. Well, oil and gas touches all of us every single day. Plastic, for instance, all the plastics that you use, you know, plastic cups, plastic in your automobiles, plastic in your homes, there's even plastic chairs. It's just a lot of plastic in a lot of things, you know, vacuum cleaners, your shelves and your refrigerators. So we're all touched by the oil and gas industry. I mean, we like to stay warm, we like to stay cool, we like to be able to drive down the road, we need fuel. And if you say, well, I've got an electric vehicle, well, that electric vehicle has to be charged, that power has to be produced. There are some various methods, but oil and gas has played a huge part. You know, lubrication for all of our machinery. Electric vehicles need grease and lubrication just as well as the gasoline and diesel ones do. The oil and gas, it's an integral part of our society. We need it. You know, some of our clothes are made from synthetics that come from oil and gas. So I hope you will listen in, and what I want to relate to you is stories, experiences that I've had and maybe others have had out in the oil field. I hope that you find it entertaining. I plan to give a lot of these stories. I hope to hear some of your stories while you worked out there. And this first story is going back to when I was just a young apprentice in the oil field, well, in the electrical trade, and I happened to go to work for an electrical contractor in Kilgore, Texas. But I was working there, and this contractor sent us down on this electrician and myself down on the Mary King A lease for Amoco production. The lease was down, and so we went driving down there and pulled up on the location there at the tank battery and met LP, the pumper there. LP was explaining to us what was going on, and he couldn't figure out why his leaf wouldn't run. So this electrician, we got busy checking things and found out that the big knockout, it was a horizontal vessel, not tall tank, and it was full and had the high level switch made, which was shutting down the lease. And electrician tells LP this, and he says, oh no, that tank is empty, it's empty. And they went back and forth on this, and the electrician said, no, it's full. And LP goes over there and he knocks, you know, on that tank, and he said, you hear that sound? That's the sound of an empty vessel. You know, the electrician said, no, that's the sound of a full vessel. And so here we go again. So LP got a little frustrated, and he says, I'll just show you. I'll show you. And we walked around the end of that vessel, and there was this big old manhole cover, you know, big round steel cover, you know, big thick cover. Had these big, huge bolts all the way around it, and it was hinged on the side where that door could just open out. And he said, I'll just take that cover and open it up. The electrician said, that wouldn't be a good idea. That wouldn't be a good idea at all. He said, well, I'll show you. And so he gets his big wrenches out and he's busting those bolts loose. And well, we jumped in there helping him bust them loose until we got down to about the last 4 bolts. And, you know, they were kind of spaced out around the edges there. And electrician said, come on, let's get out of here. Let's back off away from this thing. LP got kind of frustrated about that. I told you there wasn't any fluid in that tank. And electrician said, well, we're going to be safe. We're going to stay away from it. So he busted those last 4 bolts and that cover didn't move. So he got him a pry bar out. He's standing there pretty much in front of this big manhole cover. He pries on the edge of that thing, and all of a sudden, man, I mean, it gave way, and that big old door just, whoo, and I mean, it was a huge stream of oil just covering LP up from head to toe. Man, he was blacker than the ace of spades. There wasn't a spot on his body that you could touch, head anywhere, that wasn't covered with oil. I got to say, folks, that that was funny. That was funny looking. But LP wasn't laughing. He was just standing there froze, looking at that hole in that tank. And I just couldn't help it. I said, LP, by George, you know you're right. That tank is empty. Well, needless to say, that went over like a lead balloon. You know, he was not a happy camper when I told him that. Well, LP learned a valuable lesson that day. And, you know, life is full of lessons. And we all learn, you know, as we progress through this life. So that's my first story. I'd love to hear some of y'all as time goes on. I hope you enjoy this story. I've got a lot of them to tell. I want to share them with you. And in the meantime, if you will share this story, like and subscribe to help this channel to grow, we'll share it with a lot more people. I want to thank you for joining today. I'm Mac McCarty. So long till next time.